Welcome to the Grow Your Practice podcast. Hi, I'm your host, Chad Madden, owner of Madden Physical Therapy and Breakthrough. Join me each week as we dive into the best practices, systems, principles, tips, and tricks to help you grow your private practice. Hey everybody, Chad Madden here with the Grow Your Practice podcast, and today we have a very special guest. Practice owner Mike Hyde is with us from Greenwood, Indiana, correct?
Yes, thank you.
And it's Hayden Physical Therapy?
Yep, Hayden Physical Therapy in Greenwood.
Great. And so we'll start at the very beginning. How'd you become a clinician?
I think I first got interested in PT when I was in high school. I had an injury. I was a sports player, played football and basketball and baseball, and injured my back and had to go to physical therapy in high school. That got me thinking about the profession in the first place. I had a pretty relaxed, pretty chill physical therapist. It seemed like we just talked about sports the whole time. So I'm like, I think I could do this. And so that got my wheels turning a little bit, and then started looking into it as I finished through high school, and then started applying to school, thinking I wanted to do physical therapy into college. Then I got a job as a rehab tech at a local kind of outpatient orthopedic clinic here in town. And that kind of reaffirmed that I think this is something I could do long term. So got into PT school at the same school I went to undergrad, kind of went from there.
Nice. And so you grew up in Indiana?
Yep, grew up in Indianapolis, and Greenwood is just kind of one suburb south. So pretty much the same area my whole life, within half an hour or so.
How'd you get hurt playing football?
A stress fracture. It was in the summertime. I was playing 3 sports a day and lifting weights and doing all that stuff, and it finally kind of gave on me, I think.
All right. There wasn't like you got tackled by somebody that ended up in the NFL or anything fun like that?
No. Not because of that injury. I played against some guys that ended up doing some things, but yeah, not necessarily because of that injury, no.
I'll fall for it. Who'd you play with? Who'd you play against?
Actually, one of my teammates from high school got drafted. He actually went to Yale, ended up being a tight end. I mean, he's kind of a journeyman guy, not a big name, but there are some kids in our hometown that we played against on a regular basis that got drafted too. So, yeah, I wasn't in that league.
Okay. Yeah, I feel your pain. I did the same exact thing. That's great. Cool. So you decided to become a physical therapist. Did you do MSPT, DPT?
DPT. So I went to University of Indianapolis, which is right here in town. And at that time, I think maybe I was the second or third class. They had switched it to a DPT at that point. So that was kind of the only option at that point. If you went there, you got a DPT.
And after you graduated, what did you do?
So after I graduated, I ended up taking a job actually at Hayden Physical Therapy, where I now own. So I worked, Jamie Hayden is his last name. He started the company probably 25 years ago, and I had known him from before. I was a tech at one of his other clinics, and then at the time I was graduating, they were looking for a therapist, and it kind of worked out timing-wise, and been there ever since. So I've been there about 18 years. I graduated in 2006, yep.
Great. And then when did you become an owner? When did you take the practice over?
Yeah, so graduated in 2006. I probably worked there for a couple years as just a staff therapist. And at some point, pretty early on, he had offered me to buy in a little bit at a small percentage. So thought about it, and I really hadn't thought much about being an owner or starting a clinic myself or anything like that. But he posed it to me, and I was like, hey, this could be a good opportunity going forward. So I did that, and I kind of bought in a few different times over the years. And then ultimately last year, about a year ago, he decided it was time. He's got some health problems, so kind of decided it was time for him to fully step away, and bought him fully out.
Nice. And give us an idea, like what's the practice look like today? And where are you going? Where are you headed with Hayden PT?
And we're outpatient orthopedics. I would say we're probably settling into. We see a little bit of everybody. We see little kids all the way up to geriatric population. We're probably settling into that 50 and older crowd, seeing a lot of replacements, and we're doing some knee pain and shoulder pain workshops, so that seems to attract the 55 and older crowd. But yeah, I see, we've been a pretty steady clinic over the time that I've been there, so I kind of knew what I was getting into, and I think we've got the opportunity to kind of grow it a little bit. I don't really have at least quick aspirations to, go multi-site and, do a bunch of that. I think, I've got about a 5-year buyout, 4 years left on it, so don't want to get out ahead of myself on that. But yeah, I think we can grow within our space ways.
Nice. So, and how big is the clinic right now?
I think we've got about 5,500 square feet.
Nice. And how many clinicians do you have?
We've got 4 full-time clinicians, and we've got a student right now. That was kind of our experiment to see if adding a 5th could, if we could make everybody busy. So it seems to be working. It seems that we are able to. So once the student leaves, we'll probably try to hire a full-time 5th.
And what are the main challenges that you've faced over the last year being a private practice owner?
Yeah, I think, again, I knew all the financials. I knew, day to day how the business ran, because I'd kind of been doing that for probably 8 or 10 of those years, these last years anyway. But yeah, just the stress of now it's all on me, We were a debt-free company, and, I took on a lot of new debt to buy it out. So just having that added layer of like, okay, well, this has to work now because I got my name tied to a lot of money here.
Yeah, you're pretty close, and it's slightly confusing that your last name's Hyde and it's Hayden PT. That's great. Okay, so delay on the expansion. I get you wanted to see if you could add the 5th license. It looks like you can. You mentioned adding the workshops. So it sounds like consistency of new patient flow was one of your big concerns. Can you talk about how you're thinking through that, how you're solving that problem, with a practice that's been around for, I think, 30 plus years?
That was one thing. Again, once I got kind of my name on it and, took on the debt, I know throughout the years it had always ebbed and flowed, and we'd always made money and it was always fine. But I just want to make sure of that now that my name's behind it. So that's why I kind of reached out to Breakthrough, and we had contact with you guys a few years back, probably 5 or 6 years back, and half-heartedly went into it. Didn't really follow through much. It's like we were slow, so I jumped in, and then we got busy, so I jumped out. As it was. So. Yeah, I'm trying to even we did we did a newsletter, we did a. Yeah, it probably was. Yeah. So it was maybe back in 2017 or 18, I bet.
Was that like a course or something like that, or probably killer marketing?
We got busy just regular, and we just never followed through with it. So, yeah, I think that was one of my big goals now, was to just consistently stay steady throughout the year. Again, slow growth, I think, into our space. Again, we've had that amount of space for a long time too, and it's been underutilized, I would say.
Are you doing anything else within that space, like personal training sessions or sports performance or anything like that?
Off and on. I think we've always had trouble getting that full-time person to consistently stick with that. We've got the blueprint for it, and we've done that from time to time when we've had someone who's gung-ho ready to do it, but I don't have the bandwidth to do it myself, and so that's not been something we put a whole lot into lately. No.
Fair enough. I recall going through that same stage early on and just trying to be everything to everybody, and that did not go well. My wife saved me quite a few times there. And you mentioned something in the prep here, which was you started working with a tax professional a few years back. Can you talk a little bit about what you were looking to solve there and what you learned?
Our original owner, Jamie, we're an S Corp, and always looking to save taxes whenever we can. So he had come in contact with another business owner of his, a friend of his, who kind of turned us on to this tax professional, who gave us some, what seems like pretty basic ideas now, but we had never done them. For 20-something, 25 years, we had never done this stuff. And so, that definitely, again, we want to do as much as we can legally to, avoid paying as much tax as we possibly have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything that is very compliant, ethical, that you could share that was very surprising to you that most owners wouldn't know about?
I would say, well, again, paying your kids to do jobs, we had never done that. And that seems pretty basic, but we just had never branched out, and there's ways you can put them on the website and do things like that to save some tax-free money. And one big one was called the Augusta Rule. I'm sure a lot of people already know about that.
14 days or something like that.
You can rent your house out for 14 days tax free. A couple of those little things, we added a C corp, kind of a management firm that kind of runs the bills. So there's some benefits through C corps that you don't get through an S corp.
Yeah. So just to clean this up for everybody about employing your kids. So what most of my friends do and what we've done in the past is, for example, like I send out a letter every year from our practice. It goes out to about 600 people, and it's really a family photo of the 6 kids, and then you can do like a modeling contract with your kids. And let's say that the contract is $1,000, and so I have 6 kids, so I get a big write-off, right? But I can pay taxes on $6,000 myself, or if my children earn it, they're in a lower tax bracket, so rather than pay at, like, let's say 40 or 50%, they're paying it at 15% or whatever it is, right? That's what you mean there.
I think, kids can earn up to like 12.5 maybe or something like that without paying much of anything, federal tax.
Yeah, I think you're yeah. Cool. That's super helpful. Are you doing anything with like real estate, like owning the building that you're in or anything like that?
Before we continue with this episode, here's a word about our course, Profitability Under Pressure.
Hi, Chad Madden here, introducing you to Profitability Under Pressure, a 90-day masterclass designed to help you build a financial system in your practice to improve your revenue per visit and the bottom line profit margins of your practice. Many practice owners like you are facing declining reimbursements and increasing operational expenses, making it nearly impossible to maintain the financial health of their practice. The Profitability Under Pressure program helps you build a system for your private practice based on what's working for other owners, other private practice owners in today's market. This single system is going to help you increase your profit margins, increase the safety, stability of your private practice, help you regain your time freedom, get your time back, and help more people within your community. With our program, you'll learn all about the profit leak audit, helping you find valuable lost dollars within your practice. You'll learn about the profit planner, helping you plan ahead for profitability. And you'll also learn the 4 profit levers, which are the systems and processes that are working in today's market to help practice owners take their practice to the next level. In addition, you'll receive a 90-day trial of our patient demand software, which is the same exact marketing system that I use in my private practice. And you'll also get exclusive access to our Insider Circle community. Don't just take our word for it. Hear from practice owners like Lance Gross, who just shared that he added over $1 million to his bottom line this year alone doing the profit leak audit. Or Peg Gray, who after decades of frustration finally feels like she has her finances under control. You'll want to apply today. There is an early action deadline, which is July 31st. Do not miss this deadline.
Thank you for listening this far. Now back to the episode.
Well, we haven't yet. No, we've actually leased our space for 23 years. Yeah, I know. You start adding the numbers up and it gets kind of sickening.
Ooh.
I think we've got first right of refusal when and if the owner wants to sell it. He was good friends with our original owner, so I think we're under market rent. We got a pretty good deal, but yeah, it's still been a lot of money over the years.
That's all good. Yeah, that's. In some cases, it can be overrated. I remember early on, this was back in college. I was a freshman in college. I read this book called The Millionaire Next Door. And in that, they were, I believe, 2 financial experts, and they looked over their portfolio of clients. And the ones that had done the best were usually service-based professionals, exactly like we are, who owned the facility that they were in, their office space. And I very much lucked out. I don't own any of our buildings anymore, but I'm glad we did it, but it comes with its own headaches as well. And there's a bit of a trade-off. Yeah.
Well, now I think about it, because we've been in our space for 23 or 4 years, if we went to go buy a different building, then we have to move and everybody knows where we're at.
Yeah. Brutal. And just so you feel okay about your decisions, my friends that very much focus on growing their businesses, they will never own real estate because it distracts them. And then I have other people that they insist on owning the real estate before they move into a building. So Yeah, there's definitely two methodologies there. Don't feel bad, but if the opportunity comes, yeah, for sure. Cool. So you talked about consistency. I have here before you were averaging about right around 146, 150 visits a week, and now you're up to 200 visits a week with the four, soon to be five full time clinicians. Is that other clinician going to be your fifth?
I don't think so. He's been okay. He's been okay. No, yeah. I won't tell him about this. No, no. He lives out of state, so I think a lot longer he would go back there anyway.
Okay. Hopefully they're not a listener, but yeah, very fair. So, can you talk about like what you've done prior to, let's say 2023 over the years in terms of trying to solve the consistency and new patient flow? Because I know it's a really big issue. And just for context, Mike, what percentage of your, let's say before 2020, what percentage of your new patient flow was physician referral?
Oh, 97. And a lot of that was physician referral, but people who had been to us before. So I mean, they still had a referral from a physician, but yeah, they were. So we get a lot of repeat, customers over the years, of course, but yeah, they all had scripts from the doctor for sure.
Oh, very high. Okay. So they were reactivations or referrals.
Yeah, and we didn't directly reactivate them. They reactivated themselves.
So there was no like newsletter out or email campaign or file a green ink letter, none of that. Very yeah, that's great. That's great that you made it this far. So can you talk about the mind shift that like what happened where you were like, okay, I need to solve this problem and I want to be consistent with our new patient flow?
There was nothing. We're just living on good word. Yeah, I think part of it's my own kind of personality of, wanting to have more my hand and a little bit more control over my future, I guess. So, because I had posed this question for years to our original owner, like, what if people just stop coming? What are we going to do about that? And he's, the question and answer always was, well, we've been here this long and they haven't stopped yet. They're probably not going to. And by and large, that was happening. We'd have a little slow time. I'd get worried for a couple weeks, and then we'd get real busy, and then back and forth. So I just wanted to have more direct, whatever control you can have in this life. But, I wanted to have more control over that.
Great. So of all the things you've implemented to solve that, which one has resonated with you the most? What are you doing there?
Well, I think the most direct is the workshops. Yeah, so we got with Jordana, and she's been helping out a lot with that. So she set us up with a marketing calendar. So we've been going over that and just doing a workshop every month. We're advertising on Facebook, and so that that's just drawn a lot of traffic.
That's great. And are you presenting yourself? How's that going?
We're probably getting 60 sign-ups per month for our workshop. Now 20 people end up coming, but that's still a lot of people that get eyes on you, I think. It's going good. Again, I'd done quite a bit of research with your guys' crew, watched the videos and, kind of saw the flow of and kind of just got a general gist of how those went and, made it my own a little bit. But yeah, we've gotten good feedback on it. I think it's been really informative. You're always trying to figure out people who are there just to kick tires and get some information versus people who really want help. I was in my head before this all started. I was like, we're going to get 20 people are going to sign up that day, and we're going to be too busy. We're going to have 3 therapists, But it hadn't quite worked out like that. But we're still working on the sell of it and, the close and trying to funnel people. I think we've had 20 people each time, and some people want to talk to me questions afterwards, and it's hard to get people funneled the right direction sometimes.
Yep. Good problems to have. But so now you're going to cold traffic marketing. Sounds like you weren't doing that before, and you at least have some early signs of life there and success. That's great.
Yeah, and I think even marketing the monthly emails to our past patient list has been good too. We get a handful of reactivations probably every month there. And again, eventually I would like to hire like a marketing person in-house here, so because I can only follow up on so much, I'm trying to do most of it.
You're doing all the follow-ups yourself? Oh, brother. No, we got to talk about that. Yeah. Yeah. I know what did you say your oldest was, 11?
Yeah, 11, 8, and 5.
Not old enough to hire to follow up on calls, but couple years. Yeah, I can help you out with that too, or Jordana can share a scorecard with you. We have 3 or 4, one in transition right now, but yeah, I'd be lost without that. I got it. So I know you have a pretty big bookshelf behind you. What's most influential book you've read in your business private practice career?
Oh, goodness. My business private practice career. I am currently reading a H3 leadership. I can't remember his name. I should have it right here. Hungry, Humble, and something. I can't remember. But yeah, I think, what's that?
Yeah, it's humor or honor.
Hungry, Humble, and I can't remember. The third one lost me. H2.
Oh, we'll look it up. Yeah.
No, but I think learning how to lead. I mean, I was a staff physical therapist. I was kind of the second guy, for a long time, and now, everybody's learning to me. So I think figuring out, through books and leadership, and again talking to the private practice owners that in this group has been helpful on, again, just taking a different step. Wearing a different hat than I have been used to and for a long time.
All right. Well, you're doing it, man. Mike, greatly appreciate you doing this. And if listeners want to learn more about you, how can they find your website of your practice? Or feel free to share.
Yeah, so our practice website is haydenphysicaltherapy.com. Again, we're in Greenwood, Indiana.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, greatly appreciate you again, Mike. This was great. And congratulations to you for taking a big step and seeing it through and grabbing the bull by the horns, man. It's awesome.
Okay. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Hi, Chad Madden here, introducing you to Profitability Under Pressure, a 90-day masterclass designed to help you build a financial system in your practice to improve your revenue per visit and the bottom line profit margins of your practice. Many practice owners like you are facing declining reimbursements and increasing operational expenses, making it nearly impossible to maintain the financial health of their practice. The Profitability Under Pressure program helps you build a system for your private practice based on what's working for other owners, other private practice owners in today's market. This single system is going to help you increase your profit margins, increase the safety, stability of your private practice, help you regain your time freedom, get your time back, and help more people within your community. With our program, you'll learn all about the profit leak audit, helping you find valuable lost dollars within your practice. You'll learn about the profit planner, helping you plan ahead for profitability. And you'll also learn the 4 profit levers, which are the systems and processes that are working in today's market to help practice owners take their practice to the next level. In addition, you'll receive a 90-day trial of our patient demand software, which is the same exact marketing system that I use in my private practice. And you'll also get exclusive access to our Insider Circle community. Don't just take our word for it. Hear from practice owners like Lance Gross, who just shared that he added over $1 million to his bottom line this year alone doing the profit leak audit. Or Peg Gray, who after decades of frustration finally feels like she has her finances under control. You'll want to apply today. There is an early action deadline, which is July 31st. Do not miss this deadline.